guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking all about the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. I'm so excited to be playing with this palette for the first time today. It came in the mail a couple days ago and it's been sitting on my counter and I'm like, I really need to play with it. So yeah, before we waste any more time, let's just go ahead and get started. I will mention that I did the rest of my face makeup off camera, so if there's anything that you really wished I told you guys what I'm wearing or what I use, I will leave it down in the description box below for you guys. So let's just go ahead and get started. Before we start with the shadow, I always apply a eye primer. So I'm going to be using the Smashbox Photo Lid Primer. This has a really nice skin tone color to it, so it does cancel out any discoloration that you might have, which I really like. So I take that from my lash line up to my brow. And I'm so excited today because we get to play with the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. It is so pretty. I haven't played with it. I haven't even swatched it. Here is what it looks like. It just has the plastic sleeve on it, so I'm going to remove that. And this is what the beautiful palette looks like. It has lots of pops of colors. It has neutrals, matte shimmers. It's just so pretty, and I'm really late on the bandwagon getting this, but I finally decided to get it and I just love it. Like, it looks so pretty. This honestly looks like a palette you could use for summer, spring, fall, winter, anything, because it has nice pops of colors, but it also has neutrals. So if you're looking for just a really nice palette that it is affordable, I'll write here on the screen how much it is because I can't remember off the top of my head, but it is so pretty. So the only thing that I've noticed so far, again, I haven't swatched any of these colors, but it doesn't have like a matte bone shade. So I am just going to use my setting powder for that. So I'm just going to be using the Too Faced Candy Johnson. This is the setting powder. I'm just going to be taking a little bit of this on my Morphe M209 and just setting the tackiness from that primer. This is something I would normally do for all of my looks, so because this is a first impressions on the Jaclyn Hill palette, I want to give it a fair shot. So I want to do what I normally would. That's why I'm using all the same primers and everything like that as well. And I really have no idea what look I want to do, but I just like want to just get in and play with it. So I'm going to go in with the Morphe M502 brush. It's a nice fluffy brush. I'm going to go in with this shade right here in the palette. Actually, I don't think the names, yeah, the names aren't on here, but I'm going to go in with like a nice matte, neutralish, warm kind of shade. So I'm going to be running this in my crease. I've heard amazing things about this palette, like being so pigmented, super easy to blend out. And I really love Morphe products already anyways, so I knew that I would probably like it. I have a few of Morphe's palettes and I really do like them. I don't reach for them that often, I think, because they're such big palettes that I don't know, I tend to pack like smaller palettes. And then going back into the palette, I'm going to pick up this shade right here in the palette. I'm going to keep this color a little bit lower than that first shade that we used. But these colors are really going on, really pigmented. But the good thing is, even though they're pigmented, they're easy to blend out. And I am doing windshield wiper motions and kind of like that rainbow shape. So I am going to bring it into the inner corner as well. It's blending really nicely. On the actual box that the palette comes in, it does actually have the names of the colors. So in case you're wondering like if they have names, they actually do. I just prefer palettes that have the names actually on the palette, so that way it's easier for me to tell you what color I'm using in case you're like getting ready with me using this exact palette. But again, makeup is so fun. You can really just use similar colors if you have something already at home. You can also just create your own look. I don't know. It doesn't have to be like the exact one, obviously. So I'm just deepening that color, just going back and forth and just really deepening the shade. before we get too carried away, I'm just going to go in with a nice crease brush and just kind of blend the two shades together. We'll see how easy this kind of blends. So again, just kind of using circular motions and windshield wiper motions going across the eye back and forth. Oh yeah, these are blending really nicely. Going in with another crease brush, this is the Morphe M330. It's a little bit more tapered, still really nice and like a crease brush, but it has a little bit more of a tapered top to it. So I'm going to go in, I think I'm going to keep it really warm, and I'm going to go into the shade right here in the palette. It's a really nice bright matte, like pop of like a warm red orangey shade. And what I'm going to do is focus this on the outer half of my eye and kind of buffing it up towards the crease. So again, just focusing it right here on the outer edge, the outer half really, and then just kind of buffing it into the crease. This brush is really nice to do that. It's so nice and tapered at the top, like I was saying. So it has a really nice point to it, so it gets right into that crease socket without having to blend out so hard. So if you're looking for a brush that does more work than it is for you to work for it, if that makes any sense. Again, this is the M330 brush from Morphe. That color is so bright and so pretty. I really like it. I look crazy because I'm like just flicking color all over the place, but it really does blend out and look really smooth, like really easily. I think I'm going to use two of the different shimmer shades. So the first shade that I'm going to go in to the palette is this guy right here. It's nice like topaz shimmer, like champagne shade. So I'm going to pick that up on a Morphe M124 brush. It is a nice flat shadow brush. I really like this. It's short and dense, so it just picks up the perfect amount of product. So going in with that shade, and I'm going to press this onto the lid where we don't have any product yet. These colors are so pretty. I really like it. I'm not getting a ton of fallout either. That I wanted to mention that. I obviously have some a little bit right here, but I'm not getting it like down my whole face like some of the products or some palettes that I have. They tend to have a lot of fallout, but these ones don't. So if you are someone who starts with your face makeup first and then goes to your eyes, I mean, this would probably work for you, so you don't have to worry about getting so much fallout on your face. And then I'm going to go back in with that Morphe M330 brush and just kind of buff out the edge right here where that orangey shade met the shimmer shade, just to kind of diffuse that edge right there in the middle. Going back into the palette, I really want to use the shade right here in the top row. It kind of is like a pink, but it has gold reflex to it, so it almost looks like a duochrome shade. And I'm just going to pop it right in the center just to give the eye a little bit more dimension. Again, going in with that other brush and just buffing out the edges. I'm going to go back into the palette and pick up that warm brown and just kind of run that through the outer edge again. Back into the palette, I'm going to use this very first shade right here in the palette. It's like a nice creamy white, but it looks like it has a little bit of a sheen to it, so I'm just lightly going to... Wow, that was a lot more shimmery than I thought it was going to be. As you guys know, if you've been watching me, I don't prefer a brow highlight to be something that's shimmery. I just think it looks like unnatural. However, this is actually blending out and looking really nice. It's not as shimmery as I thought it was going to be. It's a little bit more of like a sheen to it. It's not something that is like a harsh like glitter look to it. When it first goes in, or when it first goes on, it looked pretty like shiny, but as I kind of buffed it out, it actually got less intense, which I prefer because I like a matte brow highlight. And then I'm going to go in with a clean crease brush, and I'm just going to make sure that the edges are all diffused. And I'm going to take some makeup wipes. These are the Garnier Skin Active Micellar Cleansing Towelettes. And I'm just going to take one of these and just clean up a little bit around my eyes, just where I do have a little bit of fallout, just right here, and clean up the edges so we have a nice sharp line. I went ahead and filled my brows already, so I'm just going to curl my lashes and apply some mascara, and then we will finish off the rest of the eyes. So I went ahead and finished off the rest of my face makeup, since that's not what we're really here for. So all I did was apply some brown eyeliner on my waterline, and then I'm going to go back into the palette and we can finish off the eyes, and I'll tell you what my thoughts are. So I'm going to go in with that orangey, like matte tone shade right here in the palette. I'm going to pick up a flat definer brush. It is nice and flat. This is the Morphe M410 brush. Just picking up a little bit of that, and I'm going to be smudging this along my lower lashes. And then just switching brushes, I'm just going to use a crease brush just to blend out the line so it's not so harsh. I'm going to apply some mascara to the bottom lashes. So let's talk about the palette, my thoughts on the palette so far. So again, this is the Jaclyn Hill palette by Morphe. So it has 35 shades in it, and honestly, I really think that if you're looking for a palette that is something that could be all year round, whether you like pops of colors or neutrals or shimmers or mattes, I think that this would be a great palette, especially for the price. The only thing that I really didn't love is that it doesn't have a matte, like, cream or bone shade in the palette. You have these two shades right here, which are super nice. I do like them. However, I mentioned in the tutorial earlier that I just really like a matte brow highlight. I also like to set my eye primer before I go in with other shades on top of it. So I just really like that. I would have liked to see that there was at least one bone shade. But honestly, I really like the shadows. They blended really nicely. They're obviously super pigmented, as you can tell. The colors are beautiful. I could see every eye color use this. Lots of different skin tones. Even bridal work, like this would be super pretty. Obviously not these like pops of colors down here, but I really, really like the palette, I think. Again, I think for the price and the colors that you get, I think it's a really nice palette. I really, really like it. I'm going to keep using it, as I've only used probably about, like, how many shades did I use today? I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I used 6 shades, so I still have a lot of shades to still play with. But I really do like it. I think it's really pretty. It goes on super smooth, and what more can you ask for an affordable palette that has beautiful shades and it's easy to blend out? So I approve the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. If you are looking for something that you want to try, something that's newer, I know I'm late on the bandwagon. I'm pretty sure it's still in stock. There were many times where I tried to get it and it was still out of stock. So I got my hands on it finally. It just came in the mail like just a couple days ago. So I'm excited to have this in my collection. That completes this tutorial. I really just did the eyes with you. The rest of the face I did off of camera. I'll leave down below in the description box of the other things that I used. I know my lip color that you guys probably might want to know about. I actually mixed 2 shades. I'll just mention them right now. I actually mixed the Melted Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Sweet and Sour, one of my favorites from the Candy Johnson collection. I mixed it with the ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip. This is in the color Stud. So I just mixed these 2 shades right here, and this is the color that we got. So I kind of just wanted to mix and play with colors, so I hope you guys enjoy. Don't know why I'm losing my voice. Excuse me. But thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so you can see more videos and we can keep connected, and until next time, I'll see you soon.